What's up, guys? Welcome to Parlay Power Hour for Friday, June 11, 2021. I'm joined by the one, the only. That's going to be trending on Twitter, by the way. The one, the only, Grant Mitchell. Grant, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Haven't been able to be as lethal as I was in the first few days, but we're still hanging out with a positive record here. So doing well overall. Can't complain.
Hey, that's betting. We get back on the horse. We keep it going. And Will Reed at underscore Will Reed underscore. What a Twitter name. I love it. Will, how you doing today?
I'm glad to be here. I've been tuning in the last few days. I'm glad to be a part of this group and give my thoughts.
Yeah, so Will is going to be joining us on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Hopefully, we can bump that up, maybe get him a little full-time gig here on Parlay Power Hour, but we'll see about that. We'll see how much fun he has today doing his picks. So first thing, before we get into it, guys, subscribe to the Sports 2.0 Network. I give this rant every day, every single day. We had 37 live shows this week, guys. We're going to finish the week off strong over the next couple days. What do you guys think of the Sports 2.0 Network YouTube, and what do you think people should do on that YouTube channel?
Well, absolutely. The most obvious thing to do is press that subscribe button so you get notifications every time there's a post that goes out.
Yep. Will, what do you think?
Yeah. Subscribe, like, have us gain more of a following, become part of the fan base.
Smash that subscribe button, guys. Smash it. So, records, guys. Grant, 14-10. He sucked yesterday. What are you, 3-3?
Hey, 500 isn't sucking. Come on.
Hey, I was 2-0. I would have been 3-0 if the Nationals game didn't get rained out. But I was 2-0 yesterday. 8-5 on the day. Grant makes about 100 picks a day, so that's why his record's a little higher than me. Will is 0-0, so he's got a clean slate. We're going to start with Grant, the one, the only, Grant Mitchell. He's got the 76ers on the money line. He's going back to money line because the spread picks haven't been working out so well. Talk to me about this game. I know, Will, you're gonna chip in on this as well a little later, but Grant, what's your thoughts on 76ers on the money line?
Yeah, you mentioned it. The past couple days, I've lost consecutive bets by 0.5 points, and half a point doesn't even exist in basketball, so it's just been very frustrating for me. So I'm going to take the 76ers straight up here on the money line. I think that they've figured out a way to defend Trae Young, and while I think Trae Young will be more effective in this game, I think the cost of that will be his teammates' production decreasing. This is the first game back in Atlanta, so that is something to watch out for. Joel Embiid has been dealing with that knee injury, but even still has put up 40 points a game throughout the first two games of the series. So I think the 76ers take it here. Might be a little close, but I think they end up winning by about 8-10 at the end of it.
Yeah, I like that one for sure. Now, Will, you got the 76ers at -1.5 versus the Hawks. You also got the under of 224.5. Give me your thoughts on this pick. Is it similar to Grant's, or you got different reasoning for it?
Yeah, similar to Grant's. The 76ers have been way more effective against Trae Young after his first game one breakout game. That's part of the reason why I'm taking the under on 224.5 as well. That game one was a bit of an outlier. Trae Young and the Hawks went off for a lot of threes in the first half, which really bumped up that score in game one. And I'm also going to take the -1.5 because, as Grant was saying, Embiid is averaging 40 points per game in this series so far, and he's just going to keep on getting healthier and healthier and take advantage of Clint Capella down in the paint. So I'm going to take the 76ers -1.5 in this one.
Love it. So we're going to move into Trae Young. That's a good segue by you, Will. Grant, you got a little prop bet here. I think you're taking a little note from my playbook with the Cedric Mullins over 2 hits the other night. So what do you think about Trae Young, most points tonight?
Yeah, I was a fan of that. That was the inspiration for this one. I can't even lie. So we just talked about Joel Embiid averaging 40. Obviously, that's not sustainable. And Clint Capella is a good defender and the elite rebounder. He led the league in rebounds this season. So if he can up his game a little bit, he can hold Joel to 27, 28, which is still great from Joel's perspective, but it's not 40 points. I think that the Hawks, Ben Simmons, ever since he's been moved to the primary defender on Trae Young, has done a great job. So I expect the Hawks to run a lot of pick and roll tonight to get Simmons off of him and get Trae Young matched up with people like Danny Green and Seth Curry. So I think Trae Young will hit over 30 points tonight. But like I said earlier, I don't think his teammates are going to be able to ride along with him. So I got Trae Young going for, let's say, 33 points tonight in a losing effort.
Now, Will, you agree with that?
I don't know. I think even if they do have the pick and rolls to get Ben Simmons off of Trae Young. Danny Green is still a formidable defender. If they can get Danny to switch on to him, I think Danny can do a good job of keeping Trae in check.
All right, I like it. I'm a big prop bet guy. It's always fun to include a little prop on a parlay because betting's fun. We got to make it fun. Plus 230, huge odds.
Yeah,
If that does
better
hit,
odds.
you're going to have a huge payout on that. Grant, final pick. You got the Nuggets on the spread, -1.5. It seems like losing the spread picks didn't give you that much PTSD. You're going right back to it tonight. You got the under 223.5. Give me your thoughts on this one.
Well, this is my bread and butter. This is what I built my reputation on throughout the first week of the show. I picked the Nuggets to cover last game. They did not, unfortunately. Similar to the Bucks and the Nets, I'm still going right back for it. I don't think the Nuggets are capable of losing 3 straight games to the Suns. The Suns obviously have proved themselves to be a great team, but I still don't quite see them as a top 4 team in the NBA, which obviously their number 2 seed would suggest. I think the Nuggets go back, they get on their home court, they're finally able to knock down some shots. They've been really poor from 3. And Michael Porter Jr., who had a great first-round series against the Trailblazers, has been pretty pedestrian throughout this matchup so far. So I think he gets over 25 points or so. Jokic just won the MVP. He's going to put that level of performance out there. So I think the Nuggets get it done. And I think the Suns, because they don't have that late-game momentum, I think that they're not going to score that many points. And as a result, we're going to see the under hit. Chris Paul and Mikal Bridges and Cameron Payne, we've seen have really put a lot of points in the third and fourth once they have a lead established. But if they don't have that lead, I don't think they'll be on as much of a scoring streak. So sticking with the under there.
Yeah, the under scares me in this one. I have this fear of betting unders in the NBA for some reason. I don't know what it is. I like your explanation, but I'm going to go with the over in this game. We're going to transition into baseball now. I'm going to head back over to Will Reed here. Mets Padres under 5.5. This scares me. We were talking about this before the show. I am petrified by the under of 5.5 in this game. I know you got Blake Snell on the mound. I know you got Jacob deGrom, the best pitcher in baseball. The best pitcher possibly of all time, Jacob deGrom. But 5.5, one little shot from not Francisco Lindor. He ain't hitting the ball at all. Fernando Tatis Jr., one shot from him, under 5.5. That's a little risky, Will. What's your thoughts on this one?
It's a little risky, but betting is a game of risk. So I'm going to go with the under here. The Mets have shown again and again that they can't score runs when Jacob deGrom is on the mound. I mean, for Pete's sake, he has a 0.62 ERA, but he has 2 losses to his name. I don't know how that's really possible. So I'm going to go with the under here. Like you were saying, Fernando Tatis Jr. or Pete Alonso could just hit one out of the park and make this a very interesting bet. But I think the under is very attainable here in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, I would just stay away personally for me. 5.5. I think 6.5 if I could find it at that, or even 6. 6.5. If it was 6.5, I would go under for sure. 5.5 is just it's so risky with the batters in this game because like Pete Alonso, he hasn't been doing much consistently, but you never know. One swing of the bat. You got Fernando Tatis, obviously, but you know who's going to own Fernando Tatis' ass tonight? Jacob freaking deGrom, over 9.5 strikeouts versus the Padres. I love this bet. I love it. Jacob deGrom is the best pitcher the Padres have seen this year. They're not going to know what hit them. Fernando Tatis is going to come into the Big Apple, get absolutely shoved, and I don't think he gets a hit tonight. I'm going to say it right now. Fernando Tatis Jr. does not get a hit tonight. That's not what I'm betting, though, people, so don't heckle me for that. I'm betting the over 9.5 strikeouts for the Padres, for Jacob deGrom versus the Padres. So then, Will, we'll go back to you, baseball. You got Nationals Giants under 7.5 here. Grant, I want to get your thoughts on this game after Will goes. But Nationals Giants, why are you going the under here?
Yeah, I mean, MLB is filled with a lot of great pitching matchups today. And this one, you got Scherzer versus DeSclafani. Once again, similar to the Mets, the Nationals, who are, I believe, 27th in the MLB in runs scored per game at 3.88 this year. They have failed to score runs and get runs across the home plate. And then obviously you got their best pitcher coming to the mound, Max Scherzer. So I think the under 7.5 is doable in this game. Max Scherzer, I think, puts out one of his best performances of the season this year and takes care of the Giants.
Yeah, I really like the under in this game. Now, Grant, you got to go over or under 7.5 here. What are you thinking?
I like the under here. Sometimes with betting, you have to figure out when teams are going to break the trends, but I don't see that happening here. As Will just mentioned, the Nationals really struggle to score at all, and they've also been terribly inconsistent. Scherzer, obviously, we know is a great pitcher, and it's pretty straight, pretty cut and dry here. That they can't score. Their pitcher's not going to give up a bunch of runs. I like the under as well.
Yeah, and the Giants have been just, I mean, absolutely awesome, like simply fantastic. I'm getting a little alliteration, and that's not alliteration, but I'm getting big time language in there, getting the describing words, because the Giants have been fantastic this season. And it's amazing because on paper they suck, but on the field they're pretty damn good. So I don't know how that happens. But we're going to go to the American League East here. We got the Blue Jays and the Red Sox over 9.5. You know why I'm going over 9.5 in this game, Will?
I mean, you got two of the best offenses in the league. You got Vlad Guerrero on one side. You got Xander Bogaerts, Rafael Devers, JD Martinez on the other side. I love this bet.
Yeah, over 9.5. You can't beat it. Who's on the mound for the Red Sox? Garrett Richards.
Yeah.
Garrett Richards. Garrett Richards is horrendous at baseball. You know what? In the beginning of the season, he was actually pretty bad, like really bad, and he's gotten better. His ERA is like a 3.44, which is pretty good right now, honestly. But Garrett Richards
yesterday, I believe it's a 4.2 something. It's not great, but I wrote an article on Garrett Richards yesterday. He's not doing great.
He's gotten better as the season went on, but I still have that mindset in me that I'm thinking, okay, Garrett Richards is just not good at baseball. He's pitching against Ross the Boss Stripling for the Blue Jays. Ross the Boss, I think he's a low 4 guy. Over 9.5 in this game is going to hit. It could hit in the first 3 innings, guys. I'm making that statement right now. Fernando Tatis Jr. doesn't get a hit tonight, and this game is over 9.5 runs very early tonight. Grant the man. What do you think about this one?
Well, I just want to throw some words of advice to Will here. According to Tanner, about 80% of the MLB is just terrible. And then the next 10% is probably bad as well. I believe he said there was only one good team in the entire MLB. So he's not a fan. He's not a fan of most people we're going to talk about on the show.
No, I am not.
That's why you guys are lucky there's no NHL games today. I'll be ripping on some of the players there.
Well, we're gonna keep ripping on some teams right now. Like Grant said, there's one good team in baseball. It's this one right here. Not the Rangers, as you can see. It's the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Rangers are terrible. Like, I could play for the Rangers, okay? I could play for I'm not even an all-state beer league softball player. I could play for the Rangers. So why am I picking Dodgers minus 1.5 in this game? Clayton Kershaw is on the bump today. Clayton Kershaw, the greatest pitcher of this generation, Clayton Kershaw. I know Jacob deGrom's starting to take it, but I'm still going to go with Clayton Kershaw as the greatest pitcher of this generation. Multi-time Cy Young. How many All-Stars? He's got more All-Stars than I can count. Jacob deGrom gets the job done. Dodgers offense comes alive. They're playing the Rangers. I mean, come on now. The Rangers are bad at baseball. And you know what? If you're not in the top 10 of the power rankings, I don't care about you. Top 12 of power rankings, MLB. That's what I think. Every team 12 and under, I will not say they suck. If I say they suck, I'm sorry. But if you're 12 to 13 to 30, you suck at baseball. That's my basic thing. What do you guys think about this one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that the odds are as good as they are, to be honest. I think it is a very easy pick. I would have expected like minus 200 or something on this one.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to win by a run and a half, but when this is literally like, little leaguers versus big leaguers. I mean, the Rangers are just not good at baseball. Unless, hey, if any Rangers wants to come on Parlay Power Hour and defend themselves, you're more than welcome to. We would love that. I'll probably not say you suck. I'd be a friend of the program. I might even buy a Rangers hat, but right now the Rangers suck. Will, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this one's a pretty safe bet as well. The Rangers, just as you've been saying, have not been playing well this season, and the Dodgers are one of the best teams in baseball. So this looks like a pretty easy one to take.
Very true. One of the best. I'm going to correct you on that. They are the best. I know they're not best in the MLB power rankings. Some of those MLB writers don't know what they're talking about, but record-wise, they're not the best. But they will be your 2021 World Series champions. I did pick the New York Yankees to win at the beginning of the season. I'm changing that pick because the Yankees are no longer good at baseball. But anyways, subscribe to the Sports 2.0 Network on YouTube, guys. I was joined by Grant, the one and only Grant Mitchell. Will, I got to get a nickname for you. _Will Reed _ just doesn't ring. Had a nice ring.
We'll find one.
We'll find one for sure. Any final thoughts, guys?
How about Will the Wizard?
If he goes 3-0 today.
Yeah, if I get good bets here, we'll
yeah. If he's over 53% today, I'll call him Will the Wizard. All right, Grant, the one and only Will the Wizard. We're gonna start going by code names. It's gonna be awesome. What's my name then?
Tanner.
Shit. Come on now. Come on. Don't do me like that, guys. So any final thoughts?
Terrific.
Tanner, terrific. Will, the wizard, possibly if he wins today, and then Grant, the one and only. All right, guys, that was Parlay Power Hour with Tanner Kern, Will Reed, and Grant Mitchell. Guys, thanks for joining us. We will talk to you tomorrow for another episode.